folks, this is it, Clover, my hometown. This aerial view of our town is really a beautiful sight. Every town has its main street. Well, this is ours. We are proud of its dignity and friendly atmosphere. Mayor Westmoreland and members of our city council are forces which make our town a good place to live in. And we are justly proud of our police department, headed by Chief Youngblood. Thanks to our volunteer firemen and their generous contribution to our community, we have ample fire protection at all times. Mr. Thornton, the editor of the Herald, and Miss Parrott, his secretary, are responsible for the community news. Every town has its newspaper, and Clover is no exception. The newspaper is very important, and Mr. Thornton fully realizes his responsibility. We are proud of our excellent schools, which provide education for our children. Proud of their part in preparing our youths to face the future. The teaching staffs are specially trained to guide these citizens of tomorrow. Here we see Mrs. Ford busily preparing for the Thanksgiving pageant. Miss Thornton starts off the Thanksgiving play, and the rest of the children are right behind her. This celebration means a lot to the children. It means singing in the auditorium, dressing up in all kinds of costumes, and remembering a very important date in American history. Thanksgiving is a happy time, and the teachers as well as the children are more than ready to join in the fun. And this is our crack Clover football squad in action against the York team. Clover won this biggest game of the season by a 6-0 score. In order to show their appreciation for Clover's team winning the game, the civic clubs got together and gave them a dinner. Judging from the satisfied expressions, the food must have been good. And these are the women who prepared the dinner. We have many excellent churches in our community for the religious education of our families. Here we see the congregation leaving the ARP church after a typical Sunday service by Pastor Reverend W.P. Green. Another of our large town churches is the Methodist Church, which is also well attended on Sunday. Reverend J.C. Roper of the Methodist Church is always here to greet the members of his congregation. The First Baptist Church plays a leading role in community life, as you can see by the number of people who attend. Reverend D.P. Stanfield is the pastor. And last but not least, we have the Presbyterian Church, which has a very high standing in our town. Here the pastor is Reverend W.H. Bowman. Belonging to a church doesn't only mean attending services. For example, here we have two congregations who got together for a social Bible meeting. In addition to good conversation, there was plenty of good food on hand for everyone to enjoy. Even without snow, Christmas is thoroughly celebrated in Clover. And Santa Claus doesn't seem too worried about riding around town on a fire truck instead of in a sleigh. The grown-ups of Clover, as well as the children, turned out in full force to line the streets for a better view of Old St. Nick. There was such a large number of people that the Clover Boy Scouts had to assist with the crowd. loyal school children of Clover, Christmas also meant a theater party given by Colonel Harvey. They seem to have enjoyed the ride home almost as much as the party. Our fathers and mothers in our hometown are just plain nice living folks. The kind you read about in storybooks. You know, Main Street folks who always greet you with a, "Hello, glad to see you." These civic-minded people whom we all know in our hometown think Clover is something to shout about. Our Lions Club, here seen at a meeting, is always interested in our town's welfare. Here we see why Clover is known as the Turkey Growing Center. This is Mr. Edmonds, owner of the ranch. There seem to be enough turkeys on the Edmonds ranch to keep us supplied for quite a few Thanksgivings. Mrs. Edmonds, daughter-in-law of the owner, is feeding the turkeys while Miss Getty, a friend, helps out. And here we see Mr. Edmonds' son taking the eggs out of the poops and storing them. After a certain number have been collected, they are transferred to the incubators. Mr. Edmonds and his sons own and operate this hatchery, which is equipped with two of the largest robins incubators. These incubators have a capacity for 46,000 eggs. After 28 days, the eggs are hatched. During the laying season, 3,500 hens lay about 1,750 eggs per day. This gives the plant a supply of about 5,000 poults each week. This little poult seems to be in a hurry to get out. Here we see Mr. Edmonds delivering poults to a local rancher. The local plant delivers from 75 to 100,000 poults through this area each season. After the poults are delivered, the individual turkey ranchers keep them carefully protected in brooders. Here, the temperature is carefully controlled in order to ensure the poults the greatest possible safety. Well, don't just sit there. Say something. At various time intervals, the turkeys are tested by turkey specialists from the State Agricultural College. This shows how the turkeys are rounded up for the periodic blood test. Hey, mister, take it easy. That hurts. After the poults are fully grown, they all wind up in the same place, the processing plant. This one is owned and operated by Mr. Edmonds. This man kills the birds as they move past him. In the 8 years at the plant, he has slaughtered 500,000 turkeys. Here the birds move along a chain belt built on the same principle as the assembly line. This is where the bird's largest feathers are plucked. More feathers fly as the Turks move on one step closer to stardom on the dinner table. Dressing is done as systematically as all other operations in the plant. Washing and chilling come next. The cold bath lasts 8 hours and ends with giblets being stuffed into each bird. Not his own heart and liver, perhaps, but they all look alike in the gravy. packed in spotless crates, then weighed, the birds are carried by refrigerator trucks to freezing plants. From there, it's the last lap to that golden brown triumph on the holiday dinner. That looks good enough to eat. Hey, save me a wing. Now we have the Thomas Ranch, owned by Mr. and Mrs. Thomas. The children seem to be as much at home with the turkeys as the turkeys themselves. And here again, the government-required blood test is being given. Now we see the birds being processed as before. Destination, your dinner table. After the eggs have been hatched into poults, they are boxed in specially built turkey boxes and are then shipped via the most modern transportation. Here on the Ryan Ranch, Mr. L.I. Ryan has been raising turkeys since 1934. His ranch contains 300 acres of range area, and in the height of the season, some 20,000 turkeys roam the green ranges. The Ryan Ranch has complete facilities for killing and dressing 1,000 turkeys per day. They are then shipped to New York markets by air freight. Richard Ryan seems to get along with the birds. And here is Mr. Ryan holding one of his prize white turkey hens of the Beltsville small type variety. Let's call on some of our business firms and see what they are doing to help make our life more pleasant. Here at American Thread, there is meticulous attention to detail in thread making, from the careful selection of cotton down through the cleaning, spinning, finishing, and dyeing. Among the people responsible for efficiently running this large organization are Mr. I.H. Dowdrill, Vice President, shown here with Mrs. Pursley, his secretary. Mr. McKinney, General Manager, here with Miss Fay Falls. Mr. C.C. Smith, Office Manager and Supervisor of Bookkeeping Department. And Mr. Kelly, Plant Superintendent, who here is going over some detail with Mr. Mace Foss, a foreman. One of the most important departments at American Thread is our bookkeeping department, where accuracy is the keynote. Miss Adams, our personnel director, is in charge of employee relations and is keenly interested in each employee's welfare. We are especially proud of our old-time workers like Mr. Griscom. And here we have Mr. Dees, Mrs. Walker, Mrs. Killiam, Mrs. Brown, Miss Eunice Harvey, Mr. Parrish, Mrs. Laura Belk, Miss Elizabeth Harvey, Mrs. Rachel Gardner, Mr. W.M. Wallace, and Mr. Alan Robinson. And this motto about sums up our service. The Falls Brothers Lumber Company has been operating since 1924, and for these 23 years has been situated in Clover. Whatever your lumber needs are, Falls Brothers have it, from rough and dressed lumber to windows and millwork. The mill performs practically every operation. An important important part of every community is the bank. Here at First National, the executives and bank clerks make it their business to safeguard your interests. As a member of the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, the bank protects your deposits at all times. Wherever there are women, there must be beauty shops. And here in Clover, Minnie takes care of your beauty needs. Can you imagine sitting under those machines for hours just to put a curl in your hair? The Stewart Laundry and Cleaners also serves beauty, the beauty of your clothes. This modern plant operated by Mr. and Mrs. Stewart gives its customers a maximum of service for a minimum price. The shoppers seem pleased with the services offered by local merchants. For more than 39 years, the Clover Drugstore has given you a dependable service. And here is Doc Wiley, the mainstay of the prescription department.